What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Oxygen. Today we're gonna work on getting our industrial brick actually, more up and running, get some water in our cooling tank area and whatnot. We're also gonna try to get some plastic getting made by refining our oil into petroleum and petroleum into plastic. As you can see down here, we pretty much have most of our oil biome explored. We did that last episode. We got our oil reservoirs, so we're all set and ready to go. We just have to kind of get water down there. That is our biggest factor, is water. Haven't quite decided how I wanted to tackle that, but we'll figure it out throughout the episode. So we got okay, yeah, no, they're all sweeping right now. Yeah, no, we gotta get this filled with water. The only thing we got, oh no, we could siphon clean water off of this build over here. To fill up, I was thinking about just stealing salt water itself and putting it in there, but I was like, then we'll have salt in there, and it'll bug me to have stuff trapped in there, and other whatnots. So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to fill this, we're going to sweep it all out, and then we're going to fill it with water. And I'm going to swap out those two tiles. And start getting this prepped to steal water from. Let's see, everything else is working? Yeah, alright, so we're gonna slow it up just so I can build. Actually, what we're gonna do is, once we get enough steel to make the other desalinator, I will just steal the water directly from that desalinator. So we will just separate those two pipes, and we'll just run this over to wherever we need it. Definitely want to use insulated pipes because we don't want we're not trying to melt everything. Did we just, yeah, I guess we can just kind of cut through like that. We are going to need at least 2 liquid vents for the steam generators up here. Because we're actually going to be working on closing that all in. Let's just rip out this excess stuff right here. Wait, dude. Okay, you do have oil. It's about ready to say, I was like, wait a minute, that should be, that thing should have been primed and ready to go, and it is. It's the other one that doesn't have coolant. Alright. So what is our priority? Alright, let's set this to a 6. So we can actually get that going. And that does seem to be working. Yep, no. Yeah, perfect. I did lower this. I don't know if anyone noticed or whatever, but I did lower this down one, just so that way we can put auto sweepers above everything, so we have enough space to build above. Just kind of a preference thing, just to help automate the whole system later. And for anyone who's thinking that this does not work with the meshing diamond windows with the decor, you would be surprisingly wrong. This will decor bomb the daylights out of everybody who works in here. We just got to finish getting things cleaned up and swept up, and bam, we'll be all set. I think there's probably better decor stuff I could sneak in there, but it'll definitely make it suck less being in there. And why are you guys sweeping all of... You're not. Okay, you're taking it for building resources. Because you guys are building that pipe. Okay. And why is nobody running steel on this? What is... Do we need more coolant? Ellie, why are you doing this? Why do we not have somebody like Mia? Like, shouldn't our actual, like, operator be... Oh, you are up here running our rock crusher. We can turn that off. Okay. Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, we'll do that too. I think eventually we'll relocate the rock crusher down into the industrial area, but until then... Yeah, no, our base is melting. It means we're getting way too warm in here. It's getting too hot. Actually, I mean, that's not the worst thing. Do we have any good... No, I don't. Or, you know, operating the machinery. I didn't. Okay, that's what I thought it did. Supplying does strength. I think tidying also does strength. Yeah, I'm not liking any of these dupes, so we're gonna go with the Oxalite. And our science is done up until here. We could probably tear these up and put them in their own little room somewhere else. We'll start making this place look nice with paintings and stuff like that later. I was doing decorating later. Hospital is definitely hospitaling. Yeah, I'm gonna... One of these episodes, I will definitely get everybody to sweep up the base and get everything cleaned up and get this place looking a little better for everyone. It probably would also make it easier to not have carbon dioxide sneaking up all over the place. But that is a different episode. That is not what we're doing today. How's our ethanol looking? Looking good still? Good, good. Now, let's see, what else do we need to do here? I'm just debating how to break into here to combine these two without having the whole system just kind of fall apart on me. Not sure yet. Can we make out of steel? Perfect. We can make that. Now start pumping our water in there. Okay. This is all good. That's all good. Yeah, so it's just kind of a hurry up and wait. So, let's see, what else? Yeah, we just gotta wait for him to get some steel. So I will be back after we get a fair amount of steel made so we can actually get some projects going. Okay, well, checking back in, and we got water coming in, so, you know, that's good for us. I did overheat the crude oil we were using as coolant and turned it into petroleum. Which, I mean, it happens. It's not the end of the world, but it definitely broke pipes and has slowed down the steel production. But we are still, as you can see, making some steel, a little bit here and there. We will eventually get, yeah, well, we will get it going in a more consistent manner. Oh, I can't build that there right now. Okay. Where do I put it? Here? Here, there. That would be better. That would have been the spot. That would have been a way better spot. Okay. But yeah, no, we got sweeping everything out of here as much as we can. Because once we get this place up and running, it will start to get hot. But we will have to replace everything with high temperature resistance. Because right now everything overheats if it's hot enough to steam water. And there we go. Now they should pump that back full of petroleum. We're getting our water filled up in here. Yeah, once we get enough water in there, it won't matter. And it's already at like 190 degrees, pretty close to flashing the steam. So that should hopefully make it easier to keep this, or get this up to being a nice steam box. I'm just debating how to do like a little liquid lock to get in there to rip out the gas pumps, because we're gonna have to pump out all the carbon dioxide and get it vacuumed and ready to go. Most of this is actually gonna need to get liquid locks and vacuums. But we'll worry about that later. Just not sure what to do next besides just kind of like wait for them to get stuff done. Really, it just kind of feels like it's a hurry up and wait situation right at the moment. And as much as I'd like to make you guys suffer and wait with me for the whole time, I think I might cut back in after we've waited a bit. Got this pumping and going. I don't think this will ever not be clean. It's gonna always have a mixture of polluted water, water, and salt water in it. But it is what it is. But yeah, no. I will be back when we actually get something kind of together and done. Welcome back, and I have made a discovery in our little hatch ranch we have here. We have what I've been waiting for, a nice little stone hatchling, which means we can now start feeding them pretty much any types of rocks we want. And we can get rid of the regular hatches. I was thinking about maybe switching over to, here we go, the little stage hatch, but it's complaining that it's too cold. And I think the stone hatches have a lower temperature that they can live at. Let's check real quick. Yeah, -50. Yeah, and what is? I think everything else kind of prefers a slightly. Oh, come on. It's faster, just kind of spinning with the mouse. All right, 49. Yep, it's warmer than the stone hatch. Stone hatch is -59, I believe. And the normal hatch is -49. Yeah, so I believe the stone hatches have a lower temperature they can survive, which makes them more ideal for our current biome. No, okay, no, it's the same, 49. It's all 49. Do the other ones? Nope, they're all, okay. It's all the same temperature. For some reason, I was thinking the different variances potentially had different livable ranges. I know some of the other critters do, like the, what is it, the little slickster? Yeah, the slicksters down here. Bam, yeah. These little guys, I know if we make it hotter, they will turn into the molten slicksters and give us just straight petroleum instead of crude oil. Yeah, see if we make it super hot, they'll just, bam, petroleum. Which I definitely feel like we should probably aim for since we have them. I don't know about the long-haired ones. I mean, like, they're probably good to, just as a way to spend oxygen, but anytime I try putting them into my base, they consume so much oxygen. So I think we might avoid them, at least for the time being. But as you see, the slicksters are just producing tons of crude oil. I mean, we haven't even been pumping anything. You can tell there's no water going to this, and yet these little slicksters have filled that thing with oil. So we're setting oil for a hot minute at least. At least enough to get ourselves up and running. I still haven't laid out the petroleum generation room because I've been busy waiting for them to get this area prepped for merging it together so we can start generating even more oxygen and hydrogen, try to keep up with our demands, and just waiting for them to finish getting this prepped so that way we can just start mass producing steel. It's been a while. It takes them a while to get things cleaned up and moved and whatnot, and didn't want to make an episode of just about cleaning. And I have not figured out how to do a montage on my video editing software yet. So once I figure that out, I might just record it all and then do like a little montage and then come back. But until then, we're getting skips and cuts. But yeah, no, right now I have them trying to do some aluminum so we can convert our radiant pipes from iron to aluminum so we can get a better heat transfer when we initially finally get this thing up and running. I don't want to have to crack back into here and make more adjustments later. I mean, I probably will regardless because I know I'll mess it up somewhere, but I'd rather have as many, do it as little as possible. So, but let's see, we got anything? Yeah, no, they're, yeah, it's how much, yeah, we are not making steel yet. Like, we're kind of making some, but not at the scale we really need it. And, you know, like I said, just kind of hurry up and wait, you know. I know I have them sweeping all this, but actually, let's cancel these sweeps. Okay. Is it okay? Yeah, no, we're just having all this excess food. Yeah, it is getting hot in the base. We really need to kind of try to push into getting plastic so we can make steam generators, so that way we can have a better way of deleting heat, so that we can just create a cooling solution. That's kind of the whole goal ultimately right now, is to push towards a cooling solution. Because if we don't, we are going to overheat the base, and then all of our plants will die, and just, you know, cascade into a death spiral. And I'd rather not have that happen. But thankfully right now, we're still good. We really need to get this on. Yeah, we just need to get a lot automated, but we just need to get our refined metals up and running. One of the goals I want to do is get this, where is it? This iron volcano tamed, but, you know, again, plastic. So, but we'll get it. We will get there. It's just going to be kind of a slow process. Especially with me making them do a bunch of sweep commands and waiting for them to get stuff cleaned up. Where is that? Okay, there's that snazzy suit. Who do we put it on? We'll put it on somebody who's got the cold thing. Yeah. You I believe have... Yeah, I believe Frasier has got the cold resistance. Let's double check. And yep, frostproof. Bam. So yeah, giving them the snazzy suit's a great idea. But I will check back in with you guys once we make a little bit more progress. Alright, so it looks like we actually have our industrial brick mostly up and running for the moment. I currently have them making aluminum ore, so we can replace all of our radiant pipes with aluminum instead of iron, just because aluminum gives, like I said earlier, just gives a significantly better transfer. It's just better radiant pipe. So once we get that done, then we'll be on to just mass producing steel. We are still working on waiting for enough ceramic to start making our refineries out of ceramic instead, so they can withstand hot steam temperatures, because this will probably eventually end up being full of steam, which is why, you know, we want everything liquid locked. It looks like we potentially almost have enough water. almost. But yeah, no, as you can see, things are coming along pretty good. Pretty good. We got this all nice and swept up and cleaned up. We've got steel getting made. Actually, do we need steel? We do need steel as a pump and as a liquid and gas pump here. What do we make the oil refineries out of? We want to make them out of steel so they don't overheat. Okay, yep. Alright, so, steel is yet again our biggest, why is my brain going blank on it? The thing that's holding us back the most is the lack of steel. There we go. Jeez, brain. Word. But yeah, we'll put a steel gas pump in there because it's cheap. I just make everything out of steel once I get it made, because a lot of times you're just working with really high temperatures that end up breaking everything. Like the oil well, the natural gas that vents out of it tends to be pretty hot. The crude oil, tends to be pretty hot. Everything just tends to be pretty hot. So realistically, you just gotta get that steel production up and running to make any sort of real progress in the mid stage of the game. I really feel like that's kind of like the mid game in and of itself, is just trying to establish a reasonable industry to produce the refined resources you need to essentially move on and play in the late game of the game. But yeah. But no, I do like having this all automated with auto sweepers and stuff, and just saves the dupes a lot of time and whatnot. So, and we now have that all officially transferred over. I do like how the water, I believe they've added that, because I don't remember seeing the water getting like this bubbly effect like it's steaming, which is nice. I do like that. As they update it, they add more and more to it. So, I have no problem supporting them, giving them some money for the DLCs and stuff and whatnot, because they are essentially making the game better with updates. I just, again, mini rant, I just am not a huge fan of their current implementation of cosmetics. I don't mind paying for cosmetics. I really don't. By all means, give us cosmetics. Just, I hate time gates. I just feel they're unnecessary in a single player game. But then again, I've also been playing and checking out No Rest for the Wicked, and that's got some very horribly planned out time gating that's just silly and unnecessary. I think I might make a video on that. But yeah, I don't know. It's just one of the things that gets me hung up. I know I'm not talking about actually not included, but I feel like it is what it is. I absolutely hate having to accept it, but don't really have much of a choice sometimes. But it looks like we can now properly switch this over to make steel. Do we want to start Daisy? No, I want to wait. We'll hold off. We're going to make all the aluminum we can. And once we can transfer everything over to aluminum, yeah, no, I was just trying to make it all in one thing so I could be lazy about it. Let's try that again. Alright, there we go. And now we got it all illuminated up for the most part. And there we go. Just gotta wait for them to get it all made. And we'll be sitting pretty. Thankfully they're quick. And this is just goes so much better when we get an auto sweeper to start auto loading that ore in. Bang, I guess we should probably lay out an oil refinery area. I'm thinking about building it right here. I don't want to have to travel very far with it. But what I am thinking about doing is putting plastic production in here. Which is why it's going to get hot, and where most of the steam will come from is actually making plastic. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. We'll make plastic down here. It'd be like so. And then I believe they need a gas vent. Yes. Because I believe they also vent off some carbon dioxide. Oh, hiccups. Why do you always guys show up at the worst time? Every time. Oh, man. Okay, there we go. But you know, we will eventually get this all laid out and done up. Looks pretty much set up to me. Just kind of more of a hurry up and wait situation again. Now let us come down here and make a refinery area. Where do we want to put it? Yeah, I'm thinking right up in this area right here. Kind of already near the path we're going. I just don't want to flood all this water down into here because we pretty much want to use that water to get oil. So it's going to be spitting out natural gas. Yeah, no, that should be fine. That should be fine. Like 2 oil refineries? Does that seem feels reasonable to me? I feel like more than 2 is unnecessary for our needs, realistically, because we will be making a petroleum boiler. I mean, we can easily do it. I mean, this stuff is significantly hot enough to at least make a petroleum boiler out of down here, at least for a bit, until we can get, you know, late game materials to make one that's machine instead of geo powered. Feel like that's gonna evaporate, but it's fine. It is what it is. Let us get it all dug out. I forget how much power these take. They take 480, so we could get away with a small wire with 2 of them. That's perfect. Let's go with regular wire. And of course, always gotta include our automation. And there we go. And now we just need to start running our pipes. So here's our out pipe for petroleum. Yeah, and then here's our end pipe for the crude oil. Can we do a liquid pipe? Not yet. We cannot do a liquid pump yet. It should be right about there. And then there we go. It's all prepped and ready to go. We could run this all the way up. Now, do we want to just dig straight up? It is the shortest route. It does make the most sense. Alright. I guess we'll do it. No. I actually want to keep this hot still because we have the poke shells and I don't want them to, I don't want to overheat them yet or freeze them yet. That's it, I don't want to freeze them yet. So we will take the long way. Nope. I mean, we will travel that way, but we need to, want to come from down here? Is that, yeah, I feel like coming down here would be better. So let's just run it back like that. A little bit like that. Perfect. And big old cancel. Oh, come on. Big old cancel on all that. Petroleum getting ran. So we need to start getting plastic. We got that ran. We got that ran. Perfect. All right. So hopefully, just give them a little bit of time. And they should get this made. So, I will be back once they get most of this made. I will see you guys then. Alright everybody, it looks like we are getting quite a bit done. We have our refinement system here done. Still gotta vacuum it out, but that's fine. This is a long-term temporary build. We just gotta finish getting some of the power made and a few other things, and then we will have our oil section down here done up. We still need to run water down there, but there's so much oil in there right now that it's pretty unnecessary to have to worry about running water into it right at the moment. But yeah, no, and then, you know, petroleum comes up, goes up, makes a big long travel up over to here where we make our plastics and stuff that apparently I have not plugged into the power yet like a fool, but we can quickly and easily fix that. As you can see, our industrial brick for the most part is mostly up and running, kind of, sort of, partially in a way is working. I still want to vacuum this out because we got some polluted oxygen trapped in a couple spots, some oxygen, and then this massive amount of carbon dioxide. So I would like to just get that cleaned out and just have it just be steam. And then get this pumped out and emptied out and then filled back up with hydrogen for the steam generators to help keep them cool. We'll run a little coolant. We still need to back in here and put in a aqua tuner made out of steel in here, so that way we can use it to cool off the steam turbines. We're going to put 2 in here. We're going to be putting 1 over here. We're going to run it down. And it's mostly going to be what's going to be soaking all the heat out of this area from making glass and stuff. I mean, we're still going to keep it, 250-ish kind of degrees, somewhere around there. It's Fahrenheit, not Celsius. Because I'm a filthy American and I believe in Fahrenheit. But, roughly 110 degrees Celsius, give or take, is what we would want to maintain this room in at. So we'll be using an aqua tuner here that'll come down and kind of help regulate the temperature in this, and then we'll be putting another aqua tuner over here that'll run up and regulate the temperature in here. But that is how much did it say? We still need to make 2400 steel, which is fine. We're working on it. We're getting there. We got our pump. Yeah, but no, see, we're making some decent progress. I'm pretty happy with the progress we're making so far. We're actually getting the steel up and running and everything. Our base up here is working just fine. No issues. Producing more than enough oxygen. Oh, we could use some Drecos to make bioplastic, but we're kind of past that point. Maybe you'll do I think at the point, I think I was talking about earlier in a different episode or two that I think there's enough animals now that besides steel, I think you could focus on strictly just like having a mostly primary ranching based dupe run, and could probably get just about every single resource you would ever need without having to do most of these builds, like the petroleum build and the oil pump build and a bunch of other stuff. I'm pretty confident we could make most of that work through just plants and animals and stuff. I do feel like it would probably be way harder, which that's kind of the point of the challenge. I'll have to look into it a little bit more. It does intrigue me. I am interested. But yeah, no, things are running well. Things are running super well right now. But yeah, no, we definitely need to cool this down. Figure out some way of cooling this off. And what my idea is just to kind of, after we get this all swept out, is to just break a block somewhere and vacuum it out. But like I said, we're going to have to crack back into it anyways, just to put those aqua tuners back in. I ended up sealing it up because we were just getting a ton of steam coming out, and it was just melting everything. As you can tell, we're having a hot, cold spot where there's some water that was turning into ice right there. Boop, boop. And I think it finally just kind of became nothing. I think the game deleted it after a while. But yeah, no, I just was trying not to overheat our frozen planet. But yeah, no, actually, this seems to be doing, at least it was doing well. Oh, are we? We are running out of liquid, so we need to make this even bigger. Okay, no, that is good to know. That is good to know. We were making more than enough oxygen to keep, as you see, we were keeping the pipes mostly full for the most part, which was, that's what we want. sign of optimal build. But it appears we are running out of salt water. So it looks like we will have to either make the build, we're going to have to make it deeper, because we really can't push it much wider. So we will just have to bring it further down. That's okay. We can do that. What, another 4 tiles worth? I think should be. Is that 5 tiles? Nah, that's fine. Guys, you got something making me build something new. Alright, there we go. We'll get that prepped up. No, I did build a nice little like high-low automation here, but clearly we're going to have to rip that up and relocate it. So, you know, it's basically set to run regardless of water temperature or height for the most part. Probably not needed, but you know, it's nice to have a little way of controlling the amount of fluids in there. But I do feel like we have done more than enough for this episode. But yeah, no, I feel pretty good. We've got the industrial brick up and running, plenty of oxygen. We're getting ready to expand our water tank again. Our oil production, for the most part, is basically up and running. I mean, yeah, we need to supply it with some water, but we at least have the bulk of the infrastructure installed and everything. So we're looking pretty good. The only thing now we need to do is probably build a power brick, and I think we're going to attach it over here to the backside of our industrial brick. And once we get that installed, I will probably swap these insulated tiles out with metal tiles, so it can soak up the heat from the power brick. But that's more of a long-term project that, you know, we can work on later. But with that, I will see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe.